All right, everyone. Well, it's hard to believe that it's been a year already, but it has. We're right on the eve of the start of the NFL season. Game kicks off Thursday night, where the defending Super Bowl champion Green Bay Packers, woohoo, open up their title defense against last year's 2009's Super Bowl champion New Orleans Saints. It should be a hell of a game. It kicks off 8:30 local time, 8:30 Eastern time. So do the math. What time is that in your neighborhood? At any rate, Thursday night, you got the Packers and the Saints kicking it off. So if you got players on your team from either one of those two teams, the Saints or the Packers, make sure you have them set prior to the kickoff, because as you know, you can adjust your roster up until 5 minutes before the start of that player's game. But you know, once the game starts, you're locked in. So, you know, we got the same list of owners back. We had a very good off-season meeting. Paula hosted a great breakfast for us there at the end of July, first part of August. We were able to get some rules in place. We were able to do the draft order. We had our draft. It turned out pretty good. And now we find ourselves right on the cusp of it, ready to go. You know, one thing I wanted to say about the draft, it was, you know, you look at the teams, and there were several teams due to different conflicting schedules that couldn't participate. But you look at those teams, like the mighty Blumpkin, who ended up with Arian Peterson and Ryan Grant and Sean Green and Hakeem Nicks. And you look at Jake's team, the Blue and Gold. You look at Fudge Your Face Bolden, and look at Mama of Four Boldens. All of those folks, that's Veronica and Michael. Mama is Veronica, for those of you who can't connect the dots quite there. Any rate, those guys all ended up with really decent teams, and we're going to have to watch out for them. So the whole auto draft thing theory holds true, that sometimes it's best just to stay the hell out your own way. Any rate, let's get right to it. I want to get the matchups covered, and I want to get my picks made, and then we're going to wrap this sucker up. And as I said, games kick off Thursday. There's no buys. Buys don't start up until let me just see here, like week 4 usually. Now they're going to start up in week 5. Week 5, the week of October 9th, is when buys are going to start up. So the first several weeks here were cool. All players, it's an all skate, everybody eligible. Get your players set. So anyway, let's take a look at the 2011 edition of the Family Beatdown League. And in our marquee matchup, Smell This versus Mighty Blumpkin. Smell This had a very good year last year, thank me very little, but I got knocked off in the playoffs early. Well, I was in the second round because I had a bye, by the eventual second place team, Mr. Tyson, who needs to repeat this year, because that was a very good campaign, a very good rookie season for Mr. Tyson. Didn't quite beat his brother Jake for the championship. We'll get more to that, get more on Jake's championship season later. Anyway, I open up against the mighty Blumpkin, and go to UrbanDictionary.com and look up Blumpkin if you dare. Any rate, we've got Phillip Rivers from me, Braylon Edwards, and Lee Evans. Now, Lee Evans, I overspent Lee Evans on, but I think he's in a great situation there in Baltimore, and I think it's been the missing link for Baltimore, so they may move up into my personal number 3 team behind my Patriots and my Packers, reverse order, but I'm feeling good about Lee Evans. Got a boot on, but I'm not feeling bad about that. Looking on the Blumpkin side, Matthew Stafford. Now that's the one weak link in the old Blumpkin right there. That and Marquise Colston, I'm not so sure about him. And Ryan Grant, he's your number 2 backup, the Super Bowl champion Green Bay Packers. All of that may be moot, because Matthew Stafford may be all she wrote. I'm not liking Stafford. I think you need to make a move there, Blumpkin. Any rate, I'm going to go with Smell This in the kickoff matchup. Looking at our second round, our second game of the weekend, Beast in the East, who is Tyson, our number 2 place finisher, versus the Rednecks, and that would be none other than Dawn. This looks like a pretty even match. We've got Brady in the case of Tyson. We've got Aaron Rodgers in the case of Dawn in the quarterback matchup. And then you look right down, you got Deshaun Jackson versus Larry Fitzgerald, Deion Branch versus Dez Bryant, Chris Johnson, the newly signed Chris Johnson with that nice quarterback money, versus Steven Jackson. That's not a great matchup. D'Angelo Williams, Javad Best. pretty good matchup here, and Tyson took the leap on LaDainian Tomlinson, who is a personal favorite of mine, and hope he has another great year. All of that said and done, I'm going with Beast in the East to post a W over the Rednecks. Looking at Gerard Invincibles versus the Deceptions. Dad, Gerard Invincibles, Deceptions is Jed. Both of these teams look pretty good. Dad has Ray Rice in there and Maurice Jones-Drew. Matt Schaub is usually a very good fantasy quarterback. Not the greatest NFL quarterback, but a great fantasy quarterback for Dad. So that's a nice lineup. Jed, on the other hand, went out on a limb, took Michael Vick. And he's also shopping around Cam Newton. I don't know if anybody saw that, but Jed's looking to make a deal with that rookie quarterback from last year's worst NFL team, Cam Newton. And I think Cam's dad only wants $120K this time to play on your fantasy team, so hit Jed up if you want some Cam action. Any rate, back to the matchup of the Invincibles versus the Deceptions. I'm gonna go with the Deceptions simply because Michael Vick's going to go crazy over the St. Louis defense. I think he's going to rush for like 600 yards. All right, blue and gold are defending champions. All hail blue and gold. Hey! Right there, that's the official hail for blue and gold right there. Any rate, good matchup for blue and gold. Eli, little brother Eli, is the crown jewel here. Vincent Jackson, Mike Wallace, not the 60 Minutes Mike Wallace dad, but Mike Wallace, wide receiver from Pittsburgh, and Michael Turner. Michael Turner could have a breakout year, or I don't even want to say it. I think there's a risk there. Anyway, Fudge Your Face Bolden, who is apparently doing autopilot. I don't think he's made any moves in his roster yet. But Michael, I know you got your hands full with moving to South Carolina and all that. Plus, your team looks pretty doggone good. Matt Ryan, Andre Johnson, Roddy White, LeGarrette Blount. Put him up. Put him up, Boise State. Put him up, LeGarrette Blount. Who knows? Who knows? Put him up, Boise State. Jermichael Finley. Not so bad. That said, I'm going to go defending champion blue and gold with the win, opening up his title defense, which isn't going to happen, Jake. Not going to happen 2 years running. No way. Looking at Team Quincy versus Mud Dogs. Team Quincy with Roethlisberger, Reggie Wayne, Santana Moss, and Arian Foster. Now, Arian Foster did the whole Twitter thing, showed everybody his boo-boo hamstring, which was really interesting, but a lot of pundits, as they like to call them, are saying, oh man, now that's just, really stupid move on your part. Any rate, he did it, and Quincy's taking advantage of it. Right now, Arian Foster is in Quincy's lineup with Felix Jones as the other running back, and Joseph Adai. Looking at Mud Dogs, need to fill up that kicker spot, but something tells me Rick's going to play it right up to the vest, or maybe even he's going to fight with one hand tied behind his back. I'll fight you without a kicker. Maybe he's going to do something like that. He's going to come out and start throwing smacky smack around. I don't know, or maybe he just hasn't gotten around to it yet. Either way, Drew Brees, who that's who I wanted, but I couldn't get him because of the stupid internet connection at the time of the draft. I had him, Rick. Drew Brees was in my sights, and if my internet connection hadn't gone down, your season would have been over. Any rate, Chad Ochocinco. Does he have a team? I guess so. Wes Welker, that's 2 New England wide receivers, so I guess Rick's trying to corner the market on receiving yards. Any rate, all of that adds up to, I think, a win for Team Quincy. And in our game of the week, simply because it's the last one on the list, Mama of 4 Boldens, Veronica versus the Nads. Paul is starting Peyton Manning. Peyton hasn't hiked the football since February of last year, and he had his neck operated on, so I think there's a big question mark with Big Peyton. In fact, Paul, you got to get him out of there, because I think it's already been announced he's not playing in week 1. So right now, Paul has got a big goose egg on your quarterback slot. So get your number 2 quarterback in there, Paul. Right now, we got to go with Mama of 4 Boldens. Let's see who Paul has as his backup quarterback. And Jay Cutler. All right, so without further ado, the winner is going to be Mama of 4 Boldens because of the Cutler. Any rate, that's it for week 1. Get your lineup set. As I said, kickoff game is Thursday night. Green Bay versus the Saints. All teams are in action. We'll see you again next week.